it ain't a rotation. But the Swiss tracks when it be a location.
Freestyles to the lyrical greatness. Y'all ain't able to live in those spaces. Explain why cities in the location. Got your baby mom on a give a go basis. Classic, lyrical assassin. Waiting for a deal while I'm dealing with a passion. Deliver skid marks on the tracks. Be black and I spaz on the track. Got a mask. What happened? I do this naturally. Niggas after me, so you better know limits like Master P. The way I spaz on beats, niggas can't touch kid as a Catholic priest. I mean the best for Lee. I'm like.
Morning, signature agents. Is everybody already turkey coma or what? You're all seeming really quiet this morning. Turkey coma? I can see it. Stuart? Yeah, you've already got turkey coma, I can tell. Is everybody gonna wake up this morning ready for a good sales meeting? We've got a special guest speaker that everybody probably hasn't heard, so we'll enjoy hearing from him this morning. Okay. Who has not checked in yet this morning to tell everybody where you're at and what you're doing? Take out your phones, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I like that we've got our hashtags on here now for Signature Proud, Signature Strong, Signature Life. There's also the Signature 702. If you wanted to hashtag to that, we should have that on there. I know that's you, but yeah, we want to tag Brandon in those things too. So take a moment to check in. If you haven't, please take out your phones, take a picture with somebody, pretend you're having fun if you're not, since you're all in this turkey coma today. Smile like you haven't before.
Very good.
Okay.
Music, let's do it. Everybody do it.
We lost our DJ.
Shelley.
Shelley.
Wrong one, sorry.
We'll move on here. Our calendar.
I don't know. Take a picture.
Well, while you're taking pictures, I'll touch on some events that are coming up here. Just so you guys know, offices will be closed Thursday and Friday this week, so keep that in mind. Of course, most of us will be available by phone. Please take the day off, you guys. Because remember, if you guys don't take a day off, I don't get a day off. And I think I dealt with 8 agents on Sunday. Not that I don't love you all, but it would be nice to have a day off occasionally too. Obviously, next week, our masterminds, the business mastermind here and the regular mastermind over in Green Valley. We'll have our sales meeting here. And what else do we have? We have some social events coming up, you guys. So get out your fancy dresses that you have to knock the dust off because they've been in your closet all year. We'll pretend we didn't see them last year. And you can wear them next Tuesday evening to the Divine Cafe. And we are going to be having some music and entertainment. DJ karaoke. So, warm up your throat, get your song list out, and we'll submit songs next Tuesday morning at the sales meeting to Shelley.
Shelley Marshmallow, that's my name.
I'm excited to hear Shelley sing. She's got a duet planned with Brandon, I hear, too. So, it's worth coming just for that. And then next Saturday, the 7th, is the Paper and Pancakes in Summerlin. Again, this is a great event. Actually, I met with a retiring attorney, and he's like, I've got all these papers I got to get rid of. I said, if I got a deal for you, I said, we're having this Paper and Pancakes event. I said, bring your paper that needs to be shredded to the Paper and Pancakes event. And he was like, oh, I never thought about that. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, get people out there. It's a great signature client appreciation event as well. And then we've got some great classes coming up in December as well, so stay tuned for all of that. There's our posters here for our closures. If you guys want flyers for the Paper and Pancakes, check with probably Aaliyah to get that out to be able to send those out to your clients as well. And there again, if anybody needs directions to the Divine Cafe, there's the address, and there's flyers all over the offices. And now we'll have citywide. Shelley, are you on board today?
I am. Morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Do I need to do some calisthenics? Because I did.
All right, Shelley, do your thing. There you go.
Thank you, Kelly. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Awesome. So I wanted to share with you something. No, sorry. So I went to Alaska a couple weeks ago. Does everybody know we have a signature real estate office in Alaska? Yeah. Devin Thomas is the broker owner up there, and I got to spend a day with her. One of the things that she had an event with Hero Nation, and one of the things up there that he shared that I thought was pretty valuable was this, of which I'm going to share with you. How many of you enjoy posting on social media and have some intention around it? Yeah, you have it all. How many of you have it automated and have a system around it? I actually have handouts of these, so if you have any questions, any of our loan officers will be able to share this with you. But I thought this was pretty interesting. So this is basically a daily update for yourself. So in the morning, and you'll probably see if you follow me on Facebook, which if you don't, you should, because I'm pretty amazing. On Monday, or sorry, in the morning from 5:30 to 7:30, you post you post a motivational post. How many of you are up that early? Awesome. Okay, so you're pretty motivated just because you got up, right? So post something that really draws your attention. If you need some motivational quotes, I have a Dropbox that I could share with you. And then the second one would be like a highly engaging post. So today, don't steal this, or you can if you want to. Then it would show that you guys are listening. I'm going to put up there whether you're listening to holiday music now or after Thanksgiving. How many of you are listening to holiday music today? Woohoo! Thank you. Yes. All right, 2 people. And the other one would be your afternoon, which would really show what you do. So you're a tactical expert in the industry. So real estate, whether you've got a listing, whether you've got you're taking out your buyer's agents, whether you've got a closing, whatever it may be, right around 4 to 5 o'clock when some of us may be browsing your social media apps, right? Just because the day is almost over and you want to make sure that you didn't miss anything, you're going to post something as far as real estate is concerned. And then later in the evening, this is about 8:30 to 10, typically I'm in bed by 9, so usually about 8 to 9 o'clock, you're posting something about your family, which is going to help you build, it's going to help the people, your audience, relate to you. So this is really to be done every single day. And you can actually set these up. I just found out about this. You can set these posts up so that it'll launch in the morning automatically, right? So if you take care of maybe your morning post and your engaging post, or your morning post and your afternoon post, and you set that up every day, that takes the ease out of it, but it's keeping everybody engaged. So this comes from the book Gary V, Jib, Jib, Jab. Has anybody read that book? Awesome. So Jeff has. So it's jib, jib, and then jab, right? You don't want to throw up on them that you just do real estate. A lot of times I've had, a few years ago, everybody in my family was like, gosh, can you post something different than just mortgages? Then I have my mortgage people or real estate people saying, hey, I don't know anything about you other than mortgages. So it's a way to draw your audience in. The engaging part has actually been pretty fun for me because I've been able to kind of ask a lot of questions, and it's exciting to see people actually respond. For those of you who saw yesterday, are you guys Apple or Android?
Android.
What? 2 people Android?
Apple for life.
And then on Saturday and Sunday as well, you should be doing something, but not necessarily the 4 steps, something relating to your industry, whether it's you're taking a buyer out, whether you're at an open house, whether you've got a listing appointment, whatever it may be, and then Sunday is your time to reflect. So I wanted to come out and share this with you. Again, all of our loan officers have the printout for you. I can also email this to you if you want to have this, but hopefully this will help you guys get started in the new year. And then I also just wanted to take a minute just to say thank you. Truly from all of our loan officers, Gabby, Myra, George, Tony, Bev, Shannon, and myself, you guys have really just always opened up the door. Thank you to Brandon, Mike, and all of our brokers. I truly, truly appreciate your partnership. We appreciate being a family with each and every one of you. And our business has grown, and I'm excited that it's grown together. So I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you for that from the bottom of our hearts, from all of our team. So that's all I have. And now I have in big notes, I have to bring up our fearless leader, Mr. Brandon Roberts.
All right.
I just get the pleasure to introduce our speaker for the day. And he tells me in the back, he says, nobody's more excited to hear what I'm going to speak about today than me. So I think he was trying to tell me he doesn't quite know what he's going to say yet, but I know him. I've known him for a lot of years. I worked with him in a different brand, another brand. And if you have met Shelley was the right-hand man to David Lineker. David Lineker is the founder of Remax. So he worked in the trenches with him and building that brand to a lot of what it is today. And so we were truly blessed to have him part of our Signature Real Estate International team. So if you guys would please give a round of applause to our VP of Operations for Signature International, Craig Shelley.
That dude is really old. What a shame. But I see some snow on some roofs. That's all right. People of a certain age, some of us have no idea what I'm talking about.
You will. Janet's
We
not
will.
here.
Somebody said it's good to see you, I said it's good to be seen. You know, all of that. I want to tell you some things that come from here today. And I really was telling Brandon the truth, that the most interested person in this room today to hear what I'm going to say is me, because I wasn't sure. I've got a lot on my mind. I have a lot to share with you, and I think a lot of it will be very helpful to you, especially if you listen with your heart, if you listen with your spiritual ears. I'm not here today to talk to you about tactics. I'm not here today to talk about business strategy. I'm here today to talk about becoming, who you are becoming, who you are today and who you are becoming. We say at Signature that if all we teach you is real estate, that we have failed. We talk about how important it is to have a physical life, a spiritual life, a relational life, and a financial life. Those are very important to us. You're going to hear about that forever. That's who Signature is. There are a lot of real estate companies in the world, a lot of real estate brands. What the world needs is another real estate brand, right? Maybe not. What the world needs is some really great realtors. I was looking at a list the other day. Do you guys know how many specific steps it takes you to actually conclude a transaction from the beginning to the end?
184.
How many is it?
184.
That's exactly right, 184. If you print them out single space
Oh, you're
and
fine.
tape the pages together, it's this tall. And you really think that the guys at Zillow and places like that are going to defeat you? No. I have a question for you. Who is your toughest customer? Yourself?
Yep.
Toughest customer, all right. Who is your toughest competitor? Yourself? You believe that? I got one that's tougher than that as you deal with the business. The toughest competitors that we deal with are the people from our own brand who don't do a professional job.
Amen.
Is that not right?
Yes.
So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about becoming. I want to talk about the spirit of ownership of your life and who we are and what we're doing. A lot of speakers, some will stand up and they'll say, how many of you this and how many of that, and expect you to raise your hand. Today I'm going to ask questions, but I don't expect you to raise your hand. You're not answering me, you're answering to you. Somebody said one time that no one's acquitted in a court of his own conscience. So as you talk to yourself, that's up to you to decide how you feel about this, because that's who, as you said yourself, you're in charge of you. I'm blessed to come from a good family. Every day that I think about my mom and dad and my grandparents that I knew well, my prayer every day is that from wherever they're watching, that they're not embarrassed of me. Because they were fantastic people, great leaders. They did things in their communities to bless lives everywhere they went. And that's a great legacy that they left for me. When I talk about them, and I'm going to talk about my family a little bit to you today, please understand I'm not bragging to you about my family. My mother taught me a poem when I was a little kid. I was 5 years old. I went to first grade in Heber, Arizona. Does anybody know where Heber is? You are well-traveled, one guy. My great-grandfather settled Heber in 1878. So our family's been there for a while. Heber today, as yet, does not even have a traffic light. Doesn't need one. It's got a couple of stop signs, but that's about it. The entering and leaving sign in Heber is on one board. You're entering, leaving Heber. Just like that. It's a tiny place, but that's where I grew up. And a lot of life lessons are learned in a little town like that, aren't they? Some of you may have come from a small town. Well, my mother knew that at age 5, and I was not then the mirror image of Arnold Schwarzenegger that you see standing before you now. I was a skinny little kid. And she knew that I was going to have to deal with some stuff at school, and I did. But she taught me a poem that has 14 stanzas in it at age 5. And you'll be glad today that I can only remember the first one. But it goes like this. I am a child of royal birth. My father is king of heaven and earth. I was born and nurtured in the courts on high. A child beloved, a prince am I. Is that a good thing for a kid to know when he's going off to school and he's leaving home? Did your mom say what to you, what my mom said to me? Goodbye, son. Have a good time. Be careful. And remember who you are. Right? Remember who you are. That's who I am. If that's true about me, I am a child of royal birth. My father is king of heaven and earth. I was born and nurtured in the courts on high, a child who loved the prince of my. If that's true about me, it's also true about you. And if we understand that that's really who we are, we begin to treat each other better. We begin to act loyal to the royal that is within us. Isn't that a good way to be? Is that a good standard for a realtor to aspire to? Yeah. Does this world need you? Yes, it does. Does this industry need you? Yes, it does. Does it need signature? Oh my, yes. Do you guys understand that when we're out marketing and selling our franchises that we're recruiting people to you? We're bragging about you when we're talking about signature. You have a great responsibility. When I was about 13 or so, we had a family reunion, my mother's side of the family, the Gardner family. Now in the Shelley family, I should tell you that among other things, we've had a judge in the Arizona State Supreme Court, pretty stuffy guy. Not really, he was a wonderful guy. We had another attorney in the family that was a dean of all city attorneys in America. He tried a case before the Supreme Court. These are some guys who were pretty significant people, right? And so the Shelleys can be dignified. Now the Gardners, there's an EHA in that group, and I like that group a lot. There's an EHA in this kid too. Well, here we are, the Gardners. We're camped out on the side of a mountain near Heber. Family reunion. We had about 200 or 300 of us. I have no idea how many. It seemed like a lot of people. And on Sunday, Uncle Mark, my grandfather's younger brother, I should tell you about these two men before I tell you about what Uncle Mark said. My grandfather was an infantryman in France in World War I and was highly decorated for many acts of heroism. My grandfather and his younger brother, on my grandfather's 65th birthday, had a contest to see who could walk up and down, the 6 steps to the ranch house the most times on their hands. Right? These guys are powerful people, and they had a lot of fun. We horsed around. It was all good, clean fun, but it was good, like developing people. And Uncle Mark had a voice like God. And Uncle Mark said on this Sunday, all y'all boys come with me. We're going to have Sunday school out under the tree. So we get out in this meadow. We sit on a log and on the grass. And Uncle Mark begins to teach us a Sunday school lesson. And here's what I remember from that lesson. He said, I have a question for you. And he began to walk around and looking at every one of us right in the eye. And he had a serious look on his face like, I really want to know who I'm looking at. You know, the eyes are the window of the soul. Uncle Mark's looking at us like that. This was a guy that I loved. One time he would tell me, he would say, hey, Colorado, that was my nickname, red hair. All the people who speak Spanish get it right. Colorado means red. Hey, Colorado. He would say, of all the skinny little, red-headed, freckle-faced, blue-eyed boys from Heber, Arizona, named Leland Craig Shelley, do you realize that you are my favorite one? That's Uncle Mark talking to me. So I knew that Uncle Mark I was his favorite, right? So now here we all are, I don't know, 12, 15 of us. And Uncle Mark looked at us and he says, how many of you think I love you? Every one of us. We knew we were his favorite, every one of us. And then he said, okay, put your hands down. Then he got really serious. He says, how many of you think I trust you? That takes a little more thought, right? Then he taught this lesson. Here you go. To be trusted is greater than to be loved. He says, I love all of you. Some of you I trust more than others. To be trusted is greater than to be loved. Steve Covey's son, Steve Covey's not junior, but he's also named Steve, wrote a book called The Speed of Trust. That's the speed that your business runs at, is the speed of trust. We have a responsibility in this industry, in this company, to operate in a trustworthy fashion all the time, and to set an example, and to call people out, even if somebody's not living up to the standards that we have. Who's our toughest competitor? People in our own brand that don't do a great job. We have a responsibility to make sure that we do that, right? At age, like I'm running through boyhood here. At age 10, I took piano lessons from 8 till I was 13. My mom made me do it. I was pretty good at it, I guess, because I kept doing it. One day I was in at the piano in the living room at our house in Heber. There was a nice, big, beautiful, grassy front yard, and my friends were outside playing touch football, and I was practicing the piano. And the guy came to the screen door. He knocked on the door, and I looked back and I said, "Yeah." He said, "Young man, is your mother home?" And I looked at the guys playing football, and I looked at him and I said, "What do you think?" Had to take piano lessons. But we drove back and forth from Heber to Holbrook. That's about 50 miles. Take lessons from Mrs. Hewlett. Just before Christmas, about this time of the year, we stopped at the Five and Dime store in Holbrook. And I wanted to buy my mother a beautiful Christmas present. Loved my mom. She kept a beautiful home. She loved beautiful things. She was a beautiful woman. I know you're looking at my face going, "Really?" Well, this is my dad's fault. My mom was really a beautiful, beautiful woman. And she lived her life beautifully as well. Well, anyway, so I wanted to find something special for my mother. Went into the Five and Dime store, and I was walking up and down the aisles, and my eyes fell on this beautiful lime green cookie dish that was in the shape of a swan. Can you picture that? And I thought, wow, that would be so cool. If I got that for Mom, I know she'd put good stuff in it for me to eat, and it would be really pretty in the house. And I thought, I wonder if I can afford that. So I looked and I found the sticker, the price tag on it said $2. I had $2. Got this. So I very carefully take this up. It's very breakable. I didn't break it, so don't go there. I took it very carefully up and I put it by the cash register. The cash register lady looked at me and she rang it up. She said, "That'll be $2.08. That's my first run-in with Uncle Sam. The 8 cents part I didn't have. Well, I said, "I'm sorry, I guess I have to put it back." She said, "Do you live in Heber?" I said, "Yeah." "You mind reader or what?" She said, "What are you doing here in Holbrook?" "I'm here for piano lessons." "Are you coming back after Christmas for another lesson?" "Yeah." She says, "Well, you go ahead and take this dish for your mom, and you bring the 8 cents back after Christmas." I said, "Okay." So after Christmas, we went back to Holbrook for piano lessons. I didn't forget. Went into the Five and Dime store, put the 8 cents on the counter for the lady. And she says, "Thank you." And then she said something very interesting to me. She said, "You are Leland and Orabelle Shelley's son, aren't you?" "Yeah." She said, "I knew you'd bring the money back." That lesson, the weight of that lesson settled on my little 10-year-old shoulders. It dawned on me that I was not a total independent contractor. I was not totally and completely an independent contractor. I represented someone that was near and dear to me. And that if I had failed to take those 8 cents back, wouldn't have been the end of the world. But the reputation of me and my family would have suffered by 8 cents worth. As it was, the lesson was taught to a kid: remember who you are. Goodbye, have fun, be safe, and remember who you are. When you and I are here, we should remember who we are. I got a chance to visit my mother and my father's gravesite a few weeks ago. And I sat down, looked at the headstone that has both my mother and my father's name on it. It's a beautiful little headstone up there in Heber. And my mind raced back over the years of growing up in that home, of being Mom and Dad's son and the things that we did. I remembered some things that I was not so proud of. I remembered some things that were pretty cool. I remember the day that Ricky Blair, my buddy Ricky Blair, he was driving his father's Jeep. We went out north of Heber in the cedar tree country, and we came across a herd of antelope. Without getting into too many details, can I tell you that I know from personal experience that an antelope can hit 65 miles an hour in short spurts? Speedometer. I can also tell you that if you take a Jeep across a field of Malpai rocks, you know what those are? These are big boulders that are volcanic. boulders. If you get into a field of those at 65 miles an hour, you can and you will break all 4 shocks at the same time. Just like that. We drove home on Springs. We got home, had to tell dads what had happened, and the miracle of the day was that my dad let me live. Well, there are some experiences like that. I also remember things that were very dear and precious to me. Like my father going to the foreman of a construction project and saying, my nephew is trying to earn money for school, and the foreman saying, we don't have any jobs. And my dad said, how much would you pay somebody to do a job if you had a job? The man told him, and my dad said, here's the money, never tell my nephew where you got it. Right? That was the kind of man my dad was. My mom was every bit his match. They were wonderful people. So anyway, I'm sitting there looking at this headstone, and in my mind's eye, I kind of imagined that maybe they were holding hands again, like I saw them do so many times. And I got the feeling that they were looking at me, saying to me, what have you done with our good name? What have you done with our good name? I thought about that. That's a heavy responsibility. I represent still the Shelley family. The Shelley family has a good name in that part of the world. If I were to besmirch that, it would break my heart. We raised our children to understand who they were, Shelleys. We taught them, you can borrow this. You fill in your own family name for what I'm going to tell you. We taught our kids something about Shelley power. Ask our kids, what can a Shelley do? Anything. Why? Because we have Shelley power. I'm a child of royal birth, loyal to the royal within you. Who are you? I'm a Shelley. What does that mean? That means obligation to a family name. Our kids learn that if you have a right, you also have an obligation. If you have a privilege, you also have a responsibility. Follow that? Rights, obligation, privileges, responsibilities. We have a privilege of working in this industry. That means responsibilities follow. We have a responsibility to do a great job. There's one, I'm thinking of my son, Mari. Mari, next month, unbelievable to me, is going to retire from the United States Air Force after 20 years. Right? Our family has had somebody in the military since Lieutenant Jacob Gadd Gardner was a lieutenant in George Washington's Continental Army. That's a ways back, right? As I said, I'm not bragging about my family to compare my family with somebody else's. Our experience is our experience because we are family. We are family. Well, that responsibility of that heritage weighs on me all the time. Well, Mari, as a kid, 11 years old, coming 12, we have 5 children, Jesse and I, and 24 grandchildren, 25 grandchildren. Mari, at age 11, was the kid that you had stories about him, but they had punchline. Anybody have any kids like that? You got normal kids, good kids, and you got a punchline kid? He was our punchline kid. Well, we knew that this punchline kid needed to have some energy worn off of him. And so Jesse said, I'm going to take him down and enroll him in a swimming club. Okay. We had just barely bought a new home in a nice new subdivision in Mesa, Arizona. And she just took him down to the Mesa Aquatics Club. Happened to be nearby, half a mile down to the Keno swimming pool. She took him down and signed him up. Well, 2 weeks later, he came and said, Daddy, we got a swimming meet today. It's Saturday. I said, oh, cool. I said, are you swimming in it? Yeah. What are you swimming? I'm swimming to 50 meters. I said, great. You ready for this? Oh, yeah. I said, you like swimming? Yeah. I said, you're in shape good enough to swim that? Yeah, no problem. He's excited, 11 years old. Okay, let's go. Had no idea the experience that we were in for. Get to Keno, and you couldn't find a place to park on the roads because people had come from all over Arizona to this swim meet. The Mesa Aquatics Club has sent more Olympic swimmers to the Olympics than any club in Arizona history. And that's the club that we enrolled our kid in. We didn't know. So here we are, we walk in, we have to present his birth certificate, we walk up, so did the lady, and she looked at me, she said, oh my. She said, your birthday's too close, you have to be in the next older group. You're not swimming 50 meters, you're swimming 100 meters. Oh ha. I said, you can do this? Yeah, Dad, shouldn't be a problem. Well, they had bleachers along this Olympic-sized swimming pool that held somewhere 400, 600 people, I don't know, a lot of people. There are banners in the air hung from ropes and things like that, selling hot dogs. I mean, it was a party. Well, it came time for Maury's race. Swimmers, get set. I look, and I don't know if you know, but if you're a brand new swimmer and you're the one who is expected to be the slowest, that you have to swim next to the edge because that's where the waves are the biggest, because the fast guys are in the middle. That's true. So Maury's against the edge. Not only is he against the edge, there are 8 swimmers. There are 7 little porpoises right next to him who are dressed in their Speedos. Their little lungs are, their chests are out big. These kids have been swimming for a while. There's our son, whose chest is kind of like mine, and he's in surfer jams. Oh, geez. Bang, the gun goes off. They jump in the water, and Maury is swimming for everything he's got. He's got Shelley power. He's Uncle Mark's nephew. He's Granddad Gardner's grandson. He's going for it. Well, he gets about 80% of the way to the end of his first lap, and he is spent. Those other little porpoises gone both legs. Do you know that you can't get out of the pool in a race until all racers have finished? So 7 kids are down there watching Maury going, really? And I'm watching him, and he touches to come back at the end of the 50 meters. They're done. He touches at the 50 meters, and he rolls over on his back. He's disqualified, but still in the water. And I'm down there. I thought, I didn't know quite what to do. I'm looking at him. He looks up, he says, Dad! Well, every bone in my body wanted to reach down and snatch up my beloved little boy and hug him and say, it's okay, son, we'll live to swim another day. But something in my head said, don't do that. So I looked at Maury and I went, You go. We don't quit. Well, he's tired. He's shocked. He rolls over and he starts to swim. He gets about halfway down. Now he's completed about 75 meters. And he is going down for the 3rd time, And I thought, that's enough. I'm going to go get him. So I started to go get him. Out of the bleachers comes this very handsome, athletic, 18-year-old African-American kid who had gotten himself elected president of the Westwood High School student body for the coming year. This is a leader. He came out of the stands and he got right down in Maury's ear and he said, come on, kid, you can do it, you can do it. He energized. And he swam. And he touched. And 7 swimmers in Speedos came up out of the water. They grabbed him, snatched him out of the water. His little Speedo slipped off his little bare butt. Full moon at high noon. They laid him on a towel, and his little chest was just heaving. And the entire bleachers, 400-600 people, were standing up, cheering and applauding for the kid that finished. You and I get tired. It's hard. Got to make one more phone call. Got to do one more thing. I guarantee you that there are people on both sides of the veil who are interested in seeing you finish. You don't have to be the greatest, the most, anything. You have to be you, doing your best, taking ownership and responsibility for your life. Your life is your life. I'm not here to tell you what to do with it. I am your brother here saying, you can do it, kid. You can. You were born with the stuff. You were born with all of it that you need, every bit of it. If you believe other than that, knock it off. Zig Ziglar calls that stinking thinking. Don't believe it. You are special. You are a child of royal birth. Your father is king of heaven and earth. You are a prince or a princess. That's who you are. How do I know? Because you are my brothers and you are my sisters, and that's our family. That's who we are. Here we are at Signature. Brandon Roberts is somebody that I've admired. He didn't even know that I was aware of him when he won Broker of the Year. But I watched him do it, and I watched him carry that off to class. I've watched him from afar as he came from Utah to Nevada and started from scratch and has built the number 3 brokerage in the entire city of 2.5 million people in a short period of time. That's freaking awesome, my friends. I'm very proud to have my name associated with Brandon Roberts. And here's what I want to challenge you with. As you look around in your professionalism in this company, representing who you are, part of this family, are you representing to the top of your ability? Is your professionalism, your skill, your ethics, your appearance, your reliability, your timeliness, your willingness to be a friend and to support everybody around, is it where it should be? This is a question for you to answer for you. This is a question for you to answer for you. But I guarantee you that the name Signature is a great name. The name Brandon Roberts is a great name. And at the end of the day, Brandon has every right to ask you and me, what have you done with my good name? Our character will determine our answer. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you, Craig. Yes.
Linda? We have a special, speaking of being special and being different here at Signature. This is, yeah. So, Miss Linda Stewart.
Yeah.
She's gonna share with us.
Hi there. Speaking of the spirit of Signature, that's what I'm here to talk about. We have a new, it's not really a contest, it's more of an award and recognition system that's going to be coming into place. It's going to start, the 1st of December is next Monday, is that true? Yeah, am I right? Yeah. Second? Okay, so it will start on Sunday, thank you. And we will be recognizing individuals throughout the company, and the way we're recognizing them is each one of you will nominate who you think exemplifies the Signature of Spirit. The spirit of Signature is what I meant. At any rate, I'm just going to read real quick. There's nomination forms in the back, and you can either put them in the ballot boxes that will be available by the end of the week.
Well, we'll have them by Monday.
By Monday, in each of our offices. And the Spirit of Signature Award is an honor that is given to one of our members who has taken extra steps in volunteering their time, working above the expectations of the industry, and offering help to colleagues when needed, for the betterment of our community, industry, and our company. So any one of us can nominate whoever we want. You can even nominate yourself. It's really up to you, because we're all wonderful. We all have that spirit of Signature that we've heard Mr. Shelley speak about. So I want to encourage all of you, and I want to challenge each of you to nominate someone. There's forms at the back. And then if you are the one who's nominated each month, you'll get your face on a plaque and your name on a plaque, and it will stay in eternity in all the offices of Signature. If you win, of course, yes.
You can be nominated more than once.
Then you can be nominated more than once. You could be the one who wins all year long. It's just kind of up to you. So I don't know. Are there any questions?
Yeah, Linda, will you tell them how they're going to be selected?
Oh, yeah. That would be a good thing to tell. It will be the Associates Council. In fact, If I could just have all of the people who are on the Associates Council stand up, and then you'll know who you have to be nice to. These are the people who will be voting. Oh, come on, Ellie.
I stood. Oh, wherever?
Yeah. Just for a minute. So in other words, these are the people that will be making the decision along with your brokers. Once a month we meet, and our next meeting is December 17th. It's the right before we meet on Tuesday, and that will be the last office meeting of the year as well. So, and then whoever is selected by the Associates Council will be on a beautiful plaque that will look something like this in each office starting in January. And I think that's pretty much it.
Beautiful.
All
Very
right.
good, thank you.
We really want to recognize a lot of you guys. You guys do a lot of stuff outside of real estate, giving back to the community and different things like that. And I just think this is a good way to get some recognition for that too. And even though I know a lot of you do it, not for the recognition, we do appreciate everything you do in our good name out there. Okay, so we had a challenge last week with the Signature Life sign. What was the challenge? Stand up and tell me. Since you are the winner.
Oh, I did it! Yay! Oh, that's out! Thank you. So the Signature Life Challenge was to take a picture with a Signature Life banner with whoever you would most like to take to a Vegas Golden Knights game.
Oh.
And I don't remember exactly where the seats are, but it was something about a couple of
Center ice.
tickets. Oh, really? Center ice tickets. So can I tell about who I picked?
I'll tell him.
Okay, right on.
It's your neighbor, Cynthia Torres, 15-year-old neighbor
Yeah.
that loves the Knights, so
Yeah.
it's going to be awesome. So the game you're going to go to is December 8th. It's a Sunday at 4 p.m. And they're playing the New York Rangers. So really, congratulations. There were some great photos, and the way it was chosen was who had the most likes and comments and shares on their post, and you won. Outstanding. Okay, so this next week, the challenge is going to be to take a picture with the Signature Life post around your Thanksgiving festivities. So have fun with it, post with your family, whatever, and we'll have some great prizes next week as well.
What are the
Okay?
prizes?
It'll be a surprise. All right, so now we'll do your weekly drawing here.
She has stuff this week.
Come up here. Janet's got a couple gifts from NAR that we'll do first.
Okay, so at the NAR convention, which is always in November, and at the mid-year conference, which is in May, the NAR store takes over a space that's much larger than this whole part of the office, and they bring all their wares. And I always troll it and bring back gifts. So, first one goes to
Nancy Morgan.
and the signature, gosh, Craig's got me all teary-eyed, I'm not functioning well. The NAR goal, little saying for 2019 was, "This is who we are," and it's continuing for 2020. And so here's a "This is who we are" realtor pen.
Lisa Cobb.
Lisa! And because I so hated those paper straws in California, you're getting a little carrying case with a stainless steel straw and a brush to clean it out. More.
21.
Marianne Piglia.
There you go. And so you get a book called Secrets of Top Selling Agents, and there's stuff in here from one of my favorites, Lee Brown, Tom Ferry, Gary Keller, and I have two of those. So one of you who reads it, I haven't even taken it out of the plastic, so after you read it, please share with me. Where's Mary?
Marianne. Right here. She's being shy.
Oh, you have to come get your gift. And I have one more book.
I'll share it with you.
Sophia.
Sophia, you have to share with me after you finish reading it.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome.
Thank you.
That's it.
We'll do, okay, a couple gift cards. 17.
Still,
Go Oliver.
always.
This is like, just so you know, they reserve these seats because they're lucky. And last one, 4.
Linda Stewart. Well, everybody, have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your turkey or whatever it is you eat. We'll see you next week.
Let's see, make sure you're at the Christmas party.
Yes. And get your song.
Making highlights, made a wow factor out of my life. Even on the low, I'm in the limelight.
Young boy came back delivering fast, the killer attack has been given a pass. What you know about that? I'm bringing it back to the past when it rap. Put it on for the stat and killing the track. Wagging when I active pack, trap rat is clapping back, trapping, stacking cash, massive Cadillacs, active action pack, that's the habitat. Quick fast, so the won't make it. Whack cause he ain't in no station. Act like I ain't in rotation, but it's switch tracks when you're in your location.
Freestyles to the lyrical great.